Hi everyone. So welcome back to my channel. Today is day 15. A fortnight has been completed, and in the fortnight we learned multiple things. We learned about roles and how to implement those things. We have divided tasks into subtasks, and we have completed one role personality. That is the role of the UI UX designer, where he designed the wireframe for us, and secondly, he designs the UI of the whole website. Now we are on the role of the front end developer. So till now we have added one component, one view of login, and we have solved it. We have cleared the JavaScript to make sure that it can send APIs. So we will look about the fetch APIs if time permits. And the first thing we will look into the one of the component, that is sidebar, and build something like that there in front of you. So let's not go in the depth, and let's get back into detail. First, again, let's look into the page, the UI in the Figma we have designed, and then we will see what we can do. So now we can see these things are ready. So yeah, this is the home page. We are for that the component of navbar, and we are building something like this. So this is the logo, and let's suppose I want to this copy and paste, save it this in the UI. So let's say I want to save it here. New file, let's say logo.png, and we paste it. Or let's suppose instead of copying, we will download this page, this image. So let's say Socio Connect logo, and this is the logo, right? So this is the logo, and there's some part. So let's save image as where we need to save at the same place. So let's get back to that part project. um, what we are doing socio connect front end in the src, where we will store asset, and we name it as logo. We have saved that. Now the thing we need to do, we have to edit this, right? So to edit this, what we will use, we will use paint, the basic thing to crop the things. The paint is the most efficient way. So let's say I want to open, again we go to the same position, projects, socio connect, front end, src, assets, logo. Now what we do crop. First let's resize it, a smaller one. Yeah, that is fine with the logo. And now, yeah, so now logo is ready. So we can see the logo is ready. So now in the sidebar, the thing after the header, the first thing in the body is in the nav bar. So now let's remove first thing, the scroll bar and all sort of those things could be removed. Now we don't know how it look, so restart the server. How to do that? npm run serve or run dev basically. So dev is generally used for development modules and it is for running the white. So till the time it gets started, what we will do, we will define this UI class as data points, data point nav links, press the page. We will save this and refresh the page. So yeah. So now after the header, there must be a logo, and for logo, what we do, we create a div class equals to again p4 flex, flex in the column, height will be full. So we build it from scratch, and now let's suppose what I do, we will do add an image. So we will write image src. Where is that? It's in the asset slash logo.png. Where is the asset itself? Asset in the ever folder of this. So now we can see image is there. And we have to make the image smaller. So we can add a class here. And you can name it as logo. And in that class, what we will do, we will add a CSS. And you know how to add the CSS. We will, for the class we write dot, and for ID we write hash. So it is for logo, so we will write for this. Now we will set max height as, so maximum height could as 50 px, and then also max width also as 50 px. So let's save it, and now we can see it is good. It could be better if we write it as, let's suppose 100 px. Yeah, or could be 80, much will be much better. 100 is looking a bit bigger, so I chose 80. Right. Now what we want this to be center. So let's get back to that part, and item center, align center, justify content, So center the div using tailwind. Let's suppose we want this only. Now let's say we will add p left 4px 16. Looks better, but let's say 20. Yeah, now it's in the center. So we have added that. So similarly for this nav bar, what we do, we will do padding as P4 and P bottom. So PBS 60px. So in this we will search for padding bottom. So what does padding do? So let's say PY would be there. And after this, there should be some space. And then again, we have a div whose class is equals to, again, same, everything should be there like this way. Now in that we want to add a button. So we will, so that button has this part only. And then again, we will add a break. Now instead of this, I will write gap as gap 4. So let me show you the gap part. What is gap? So let's write gap. So controlling the gutters between the grid and flexbox item. So what's the gap between those things? So the gap could be in form of X, Y's and all sort of those things. So you can fill the value gap Y And now instead of 4, let's say 10. So now you can see somewhere here, it is there. And let's say now instead of 10, it's 50. And now for this, we will write a class that has all the CSS. First, what we want to see the things. First, that should be text should be center. There should be no background. Rounded LG border. Border black. Items center. So what I'm doing it in center. Justify content. Now the next thing what we want to add here. So the text size could be 4 pixel and font bold. So we have it added this much. Now you can see it is becoming bold. And now let's make it a flex. Relative now let's check for rounded. So complete rounded. Just border radius. Rounded full should be there, not LG. It should be full. Now height and width, we have to manage that. And border thickness 4px. Good. And now we have to make it a circle instead of a rectangle. So for that we have to look those things. W30, not 30, it should be 20. And less, so let's make it 15. Now we have set the width. We will also set the height as again 10. Now we have to move this plus above, and we will say it post button. So we will add more content here. Uh, Content, justify content, center, position, relative, display, block, align items, center, margin auto. That is much better, and let's
लिए और इंग्लैंड यही चाह रहे होंगे कि वो ये विकेट
now for that button let's padding should be less now. Yeah, that is much better. So now plus should be in center, that is not there. So we will work on that part, and then logout button should be in center. So for logout button again, and then flex call. So yeah, that button is there, this is there, this is there. And for this whole content, M3. So margin could not be a good option. but that could be even become better if gap becomes, instead of 4 becomes 20, 24. Something is there and this color seems to be not good. Moving this, it will make it more dark, so the color could be better if we choose the color from the again coolers, where we have fixed the colors. So let's say mint green on that blue texture could be a better option. I don't know. We will try that. So now here, text color could be this. Yeah, it's look good. Now to I have to want to move bottom. So let's move bottom. Bottom CSS. So we could use this. So it is known as sidebar content. So in the sidebar content, what we add, we will add this. Now display as flex. No position. Text must be center. So this is ready. So this is ready. Now logout is ready. We have to move this. That there should be no padding from the bottom. So let's check for nav bar. Nav bar tailwind. So class nav bar, then this. So tailwind plus is not a good option. So let's go to flow byte. So now it's the flex wrap. So we will add here flex wrap. So now this is there, this is ready. We have to shift at bottom. So we will read about this flex direction column. If I contain flex end, so let's suppose I want to have a background to check that. So some red color, let's suppose. Let's say we want to have it here, BG red. I have to restart it. What we will see, so 57A, CSS linear gradient with stops. Dash stop at, so I have looked into it. So this is stops 30%. This is at 63%. That doesn't work, so let's move more. I want some more things, so let's say width. There could be width, left, right. The blue fit. H fit. So yeah, that is good enough. This is good enough. And now this works. So what we built today? We built the sidebar component. Now let's go back to this and we are printing the data of the login page. Now after printing, let's try something. So let's now, for now, we understand how to send data to through API. So one of the method is calling the fetch. So we will call fetch where we add a URL. So you know how URL contains. So we will make our backend. So let's make a backend. For now, there is no backend. So we are just placing that thing. It may not give the data, validate data. Few things we need to validate here as well. So let's say it's our local host, visit the URL and 5000 the port. And for this, we will send an API to login. And now what we will say, so we will see how to send a fetch API. We will look into it and explain everything as well and add that. So let's say fetch API call in JavaScript. Simple. So it is their own document. So you can see how to call these things. So making a request, fetch API. Now bracket is there, method, headers, you can add those things. See. So we will write something like that. And in there, so the first thing is method. So you can see method equals to post. So now to let you know, so what are different types of method and what does it mean? So there are four methods: get, basic four method, and there could be multiple methods more which you can go ahead. So that is get, post, put, delete. And what does it reference to? It reference to CRUD applications, CRUD request, or CRUD applications. So what is that? Create, read, delete, update. So to read, we use get. So through get, we get the data, so we can read it. Then there is a post, which creates. Post means we send the data to add it to database. So that creates the data. Now U for update. So update relates to put. So whenever we have data already existing and we want to update the data, let's say your phone number was this, now you want to change a new phone number. That is an update. So that is sent through put and it is updated in the database. And finally the delete, which is also delete here. So both the data are the same. You want to delete your data from anywhere or delete your post for example. So that way we use the method post. So that's all for today, and we will come back tomorrow for this. And till that time, happy learning. Come join me. So till that time, come join me. Let's build together, burn together. Thank you.